Welcome to this limited edition series, our 4-part series of how to make $0 to $100,000. Now, in this particular series, this is part 1 out of 4, and this is all about how to start a business with $0. And we always say, I don't have money to start a business. Well, guess what? Today we're absolutely going to prove that wrong and give you all the practical steps you need to start your business.
The biggest truth is, guys, you don't need money. You need creativity, skills, and action. And in this episode, we're going to show you how to start today with literally $0 in your account.
So guys, make sure you stay tuned and watch to the end, because in the next 24 hours, we're going to show you exactly how you can sign your first client and actually start getting paid. Welcome back to the best flipping show on YouTube. None other than the Unplug podcast, baby. Episode 44.
44, let's go.
We're making moves. Serious moves.
We are indeed.
Making big moves. I can't lie.
But more importantly, my bro, who is this channel for?
This channel is for people who are trying to unplug from the matrix and live life on their own terms.
Indeed. We are for the solopreneurs. We are for the creators. Are you tired of living life on autopilot?
Tell them again.
The answer is yes. It's time to unplug from the default path and design a life of freedom, growth, and purpose.
100%.
Most people wait for the perfect time, the perfect budget, even the perfect investor. And while they're waiting, someone else is steamrolling ahead.
Exactly. The real problem isn't a lack of money, but a lack of resourcefulness. People use money as an excuse to actually not take action.
And if you think about it, most successful entrepreneurs, they started broke. They didn't want a loan. They didn't have a business partner. They just found a way to deliver value.
100%. And before we just dive in straight in terms of like some practical steps, right, of how people can actually start with little to no money, what would you say is like your earliest career? And I'm not saying like sort of like selling sweets in school, but what's like your what would you say is like your earliest career of like being an entrepreneur where you literally have invested little to no money? Like, what was your first kind of business or side hustle?
Do you know what's so funny? Yeah, my first side hustle was in secondary school. I used to sell mobile phones. So I sold certain man their first, I sold certain man their first mobile phone, bro. And literally, I just middlemaned. I didn't pay for no stock, no inventory, nothing. Literally got the stock, put my little commission on top and sold people their phones. I remember, I think I was in year 8, year 9. So this is going back to like 1998, 99. Yeah, that was, man was hustling phones, bro. I had a plug. Bro. Shout out to my plug back in 1999. You know who you are. I used to get phones.
That is crazy.
Yeah, bro. Off the back of a lorry.
Them ones.
And
that is mad. You know what's so crazy? Because my first side hustle was exactly that. Well, I'll probably say a bit more modern. So back in the days,
legal as well.
a bit more legal-ish. But back in the days, how eBay used to work, right? So I used to sell phones on eBay.
Okay.
Right? And what I always used to do was I would like try and find like the latest iPhone or like what's it called, Nano or iPod or whatever it was back then.
Nokia.
Right? Yeah, whatever, BlackBerry, whatever it was, So I would sell that. But basically, eBay gave you up to 7 days to ship the item. But you get paid instantaneously. So what I would do is I would list it on eBay. I'll get paid instantaneously. Then I'll go on Gumtree, or there's another website called Spock. I don't know if they're around anymore.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Spock's still around. Yeah.
I'll go on Spock and I would find the phone.
Oh, wow.
And I'd sell it on eBay at a crazy margin and I'll literally buy it in cash because I've got the cash. And I'll then go to the post office and ship it next day to the person.
Smart.
So then that's literally that's so funny. That's crazy. But guys, let us know in your comments your first ever side hustles. We'd love to know. But getting more practically, right? So, if you were to have £0, I think the first thing a lot of people forget are the actual skills that you have. Like, what are you actually good at, right? I think it's always good to sort of like solve a problem, which is like to start there, but look at what you're good at. And then from what you're good at, what are some problems that people may have? And as we've always said, people will pay you handsomely for finding problems, right? And I think that's a really 100%, and I think that's a really, really sort of like good way to sort of look at it, right? And just to sort of roll off some ideas off the top of the dome, like things like maybe if you're really good at copy, CV writing. I know there are a lot, like right now the job market is scarce. It's scarce. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of new grads that will pay you £20, £50. I found off this ChatGPT, but maybe you can offer like a nice little blend of stuff. Or you can even use ChatGPT yourself, I suppose, and write their CVs for £20, £50. What does it cost you? The internet you're already paying for, the phone or laptop that you already have, and you're making £20, £50 a pop.
Yeah. And I'm going to throw in as well, if you're good at social media like Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat, can you reach out to, you know, people who are running their own businesses that just generally don't have the time to run their own social media? I'm looking for one myself, by the way. You know, and again, that doesn't cost anything to start, literally just your time initially. But that's a big problem that a lot of people will have.
100%. Maybe you are a fitness buff, you're lean, you got six-pack, you're toned. I want to know how you got that. And I'll pay you £50 to £60 a session for you to teach me how to do that, or your diet or your regime. What does that cost you? Right? The gym membership that you're already paying for, right? So I think like an easy hack is look at the things that you're already good at. Maybe you're like, you know, your sort of hobby is like photography. You like taking pictures of birds and lakes and stuff. Why not pivot into weddings? Why not pivot into property photography? Birthday parties. Like entertainment, whatever it may be. Like pivot into something that you're already doing. Like there's so many skills, I'm sure everyone must have at least one thing that they're good at. At least one thing that you're good at. And I can promise you there's at least one person that will pay for it.
And like we say, if there's one, there can be 100.
Literally.
You know, do the work, get your testimonial, and then start reaching out to more people.
100%. But maybe you say like, John, what would you say from like, obviously we're both from property, right? So what would you say, and I know a lot of people are obviously interested on getting on the ladder, getting involved in property. What would you say are some particular services one could offer with little to no money that maybe want to get started in property and be involved in the properties kind of side of things? Yeah,
I think the one that sticks out to mind the most is deal sourcing. A lot of people get started in deal sourcing. For those of you who don't know what deal sourcing is, it is essentially finding, you know, property for an investor and then charging that investor, you know, a handsome fee. So for example, myself and Freeman were always looking for property, and we work with deal sourcers who will take down our specifications of what we want, what we're looking for, and then go to market and just find that property, bring it back to us, and then we pay them a fee. So again, that there doesn't cost any money to start. You literally, all it's going to cost you initially is your time, because that's all you have at this stage. You don't have money, but you have time. So you use your time now to go out, create some type of service, which can, you know, 9 times out of 10 be done with no money, and then find somebody who now is willing to pay for that service.
100%. And even just like rallying off some more, maybe like, you know, you might do your nails, get your hair cut, any sort of like self-grooming, like go into your barbershops or your hairdressers and say, hey, I'll run your social media page. Again, like John said, don't pay me anything until I get you your first 2 clients, right? So at least for them, there's no money up front. There's no sort of commitment from their side until there's proof of concept. And that's going to give you all the more effort and like earnestness to get this stuff done, right? And then maybe when they get their first client, you know, they pay you £200. And then you can now start talking about retainer. I've always felt like the best way to get paid more is to kind of like show what you're worth. And it's like by simply sort of like under-promising and over-delivering. And people, again, will like pay you handsomely for it. There are so many things like this. I always see these guys, I think like they're based somewhere out in the States, and they literally like go up to like random people and say, hey, I'll clean your windows. Soap and water and a squidgy. Like what's that? Less than £10 all in all. You use the water from the house, the property owner's like property, squeezing it around. Build it up, and then we can talk about what happens in the next episode, all about sort of like scaling that, right? But I definitely think there are a plentiful of opportunities, even just going on ChatGPT in addition to what we've said. And I feel like, see, JP, I know you're the prompt master, right? So what would you say is like an ideal prompt that someone could write in to sort of give them a list of, free, or minimal or little to no costing like startup services that they can offer to make some money?
I think obviously with chat, you got to give it some context, and the more context you can give it, the better information. So just give it a little bit of information about yourself, maybe talk about like your experience, some skills that you have, and then basically ask it to find a solution to, or the skills that you have, what solution can those skills, basically essentially turn into some type of service or business with little or no money, and it will easily shoot out some ideas. And I think a good place to start is based on your experience, your skills, maybe people as well. So yeah, put as much information in it about your skills, experience, you've got no money and you want to get going, and ask it to give you a step-by-step breakdown of what you need to do to get this business up and running, and it will literally create that within 20 seconds.
100%. And I think that's a very, very clear example that John just gave you of even using AI in terms of like working smarter as opposed to harder. But like talking about some real life examples, obviously me and John told you about sort of like our first sort of side hustles where it required little to no money or no money at all, like we both just mentioned, but kind of wanting to sort of rally off some of, real life experiences from other people that we might have sort of experienced like personally, and how they sort of come up doing what they need to do. And I think one immediate for me was my mechanic. He's my mechanic now, but he was just really, really good with cars. And what he literally used to do is that he didn't have no interest in cars. He didn't start off good with cars. That wasn't a school. He learned. And he learned for free. How? By literally shadowing and offering to work for free at local mechanics. He shadowed after his job, 9 to 5, he would go there 5 to 9 in the garage, holding parts, holding torches, getting oil, getting this spanner, getting this wrench, doing this, doing that. And he learned and learned and learned and learned for I think something like 6 or 8 months. But he knew like the way the economy is like, we're going to need some form of like automated vehicle, right? Whether that's electric or whatever, like we're always going to need some form of mechanics, right? Or engineers. And he learned that skill, and it pays him heavily. I can tell you for free, I pay him a lot of money. 691, right? MOT, servicing, brake parts, oil changes, whatever it may be.
And like you said, that there is a business that solves problems that everybody has. If you drive a car, that car eventually is going to have some type of problems that need solving. So
100%.
Great business to be in, man.
100%. And that's just like a real life example of being proactive. Maybe when you may think, I literally don't have any skills. All right, cool, now learn one. Learn one in a niche, in an industry, like John said, like appeals to a lot of people. Like people are always going to need like automobiles. People always need to eat, right? Like health is like a big thing. Fitness is a big thing, right? So maybe you can go into like well-known industries where like it can appeal to a lot of people, and just find like sort of like micro niches that you can find within this wider industry that you can actually try to appeal to.
And I'm going to throw in there, I think like a good place to start is just looking in your current environment. And where I'm going with this is that I feel all of us have things around us that maybe we don't want anymore, we don't need, and you could start there. So like, for example, right now I've got about 30 pairs of trainers in my house that I don't even wear anymore, and I don't even want them. Do you know what I mean? So you have people out there who hoard stuff that you could potentially approach. You might have things that in your house now that you don't use that you could go on the eBay and start selling. All of a sudden now you're in business. It's e-commerce. Literally, I don't wear those trainers. Let me advertise them on Depop. So I made £30. I'm in business, bro.
Literally.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, look around you. Look in your environment. Look to your people who are around, and see if there's any opportunities in there.
So guys, in summary, when people say, I can't start because I don't have any money, in reality it's because you're not really looking to get creative. In reality is you're not looking to do any form of work to get what needs to be done. And that means you're frankly happy being where you are. But if you actually want change and live life generally in your own terms, you'll be able to use some practical examples that we've given you here to be able to take yourself to the next level.
Cool, guys. So this is this week's practical challenge for myself and Freeman. Step 1, write down a skill or a service that you can offer. Step 2, create a 2 to 3 line message promoting, advertising your service, why people can maybe benefit from it. And step 3, send it to 10 people right now who you feel can benefit from this service.
100%. And keep it super, super simple, guys. Something like, hey, I'm helping X people solve Y. and send that to the first 10, 100 people in your contacts, right? And ask questions, tweak it, like iterate it, use ChatGPT, find out exactly who your best target market offering is, right? Find out your best target market for your offer, right? And also, just to even start, you could even start for free, right? Start for free, get 3. I think like 3 is the magic number when it comes to testimonials, right? Because the first one will probably avoid any doubt. The second one is maybe potential proof of concept. And the third one is consistency. So when people can see free testimonials, free reviews, hold on, John actually can help get me more people into my barbershop with his social media marketing techniques, then yeah, I actually might look to use his services. So maybe start for free, get 3 testimonials, and then consistently allow it to just bankroll.
No, I like that, guys. And, a lot of people think work for free, but you got to serve your apprenticeship.
100%.
You have to serve your apprenticeship before you think you're going to make loads of money and build this massive business. You have to, show people what you can do, build the credibility, and then from there, things just kind of have a snowball effect. So
guys, I really hope you appreciated this episode, a very, very practical episode about how to start a business from literally $0 to no dollars and scale that to at least $100 or your first client acquisition. But now, guys, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is a part of the show called Plug Bites, where John and myself read out something motivating, touching, that we really, really resonated with, and obviously want to share with you guys because there's no gatekeeping around here.
None whatsoever. Cool. So my one comes from a famous entrepreneur in America. His name's Damon John. And he basically said, the easiest thing to do is complain. The hardest thing to do is actually take action. But action is what separates the successful from the broke. And yeah, I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but I'm going to expand on it slightly. What separates, you from where you are now to where you want to be is just action. It's actually getting down and doing the work, getting down and dirty, not being afraid to make mistakes, not being afraid of things not working out how you want to be. Just take the action. It's the hardest part, but once you get going and you build a momentum, you'll never look back.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And just personally, my sort of take on this, not necessarily a plug bite or a quote per se, but just something to take home. And it's, if you can turn your skill into £1 with nothing, you'll never turn it into £1,000 with something. Resourcefulness beats resources every single time, right? And that's literally to the point of, or the epitome of what we're talking about in today's episode. Being as resourceful as you can. Using your immediate resources that you have available, like your skills, like your network, ChatGPT, the internet, everything that you have in arm's reach. Use that first before you're sort of looking at other alternatives or more costly alternatives, and prove the concept. And like we've both said, bankroll it.
Right? Yeah, no, 100%. And guys, just remember, money is not the barrier. If you can't start with £1, then you won't succeed with £1,000 either.
So guys, I really, really hope you love this episode. Like I said, this is part 1 out of 4 for our limited series of starting from $0 all the way to $10,000+. So guys, as always, please make sure you're liking, you're subscribing, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell his mistress.
Jeez.
Please tell us those. I'm trying to get the message, but they keep on bouncing back. As always, guys, love, love, love.
Elevate.